Let's get into these game picks, and I'll stop yapping. Let's go Thursday Night Football. Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout-out to today's sponsors, starting with Goldfine and Bowles, Lawyers for the Injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their two things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PLAYBOOKSPORTS on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video. We've got an NFC West matchup. It's San Francisco taking on Seattle. The line is San Francisco minus 3.5 on the road. And I'm taking San Francisco minus 3.5. I hate that pick, honestly, because of the 3.5 hook for the home division dog. That screams me. That just screams me. And San Francisco 2-3. Not exactly impressive so far this year. I am going to go ahead and roll with San Fran here. Colin, what do you think about this game?
We talk about the circle of life for the AFC East if you've been following the program here. San Francisco last 5 against Seattle. 5-0, 4-1 against the spread. The only time they didn't cover, they were 14.5 point favorites. They won by 12. So San Fran just owns Seattle. Geno Smith 0-5 on Thursday nights. Brock Purdy 3-0 on Thursday nights. Yes, the 49ers have their second half concerns. Not only the Rams, but now Arizona this past week. Much like the Ravens. Can the Niners win a game? They have a double-digit lead in the second half. Who knows? Seattle made it much closer last week with that fumble 6 against the Giants. Otherwise, imagine the Giants scored a touchdown there instead of the fumble 6 going for Seattle. That game would have been a bigger blowout than it was. All that to be said, give me the Niners with the 3.5.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I'm also on the San Francisco 49ers minus 3.5 here. And Seattle's defense last week and just the previous couple of weeks is just not completely there yet, all the way what McDonald wants it. They give it up, and Danny Dimes is able to do that without his best weapon. And at the end of the day, there are corrections that need to be made in San Francisco, and they will get that figured out ASAP. There's a good coaching staff there in San Fran, and they're good for a reason. They will figure things out against a division opponent. And I'll take the low spread because of a bit of an overreaction of a choke. So,
yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that choke, though, it doesn't happen. I mean, they were up 2 touchdowns, and before that, they were 38-0 with Kyle Shanahan, having not lost a game, being up by 14. Yeah. Right? All of a sudden, they're 38-1. This is a different 49ers team. They're not the same as the past few years that we've been used to. You know, with that being said, Seattle did lose against a Malik Neighbors-less, against a Devin Singletary-less Giants team, with Danny Dimes throwing to Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton leading the way. Tyrone Tracy having 120 yards on the ground, and all of a sudden Seattle's also losing Nwosu for 4 games at least, going on IR. I think it's about time San Francisco gets it together. I'm going to go with San Fran as well, minus 3.5.
Okay, so got all 4 of us on it. We'll see what Bobby has to say about that game.
But
For
the clean sweep, is San Fran going to be 2-4?
Right, are they really going to fall?
By 3, I think they dominate.
I would say, how did we do last week, clean sweeps?
We went
I know we had the Packers and Mortals.
3-0. 3-0 in clean sweeps last week. Chicago, Jacksonville, and Green Bay. So cut it close with Jags.
Turn this franchise around.
That's right. Start going with the clean sweeps here. Next up, we've got a second London game already. Jacksonville Jaguars at Chicago. Kind of stinks that this counts as a home game for the Bears. That seems ridiculous because it's the Jags are like 3 years away from just moving over there, especially if they're going to continue to stink. Colin, I'm going to start with you here in this game. Who you got? What do you like? The line is Chicago minus 1.5.
Jags 6-5 in London in their history here, 2-0 at Hotspur Stadium. So who knows? However, looking at this, Bears 4-1 against the spread this year, 3-0 outright as a favorite, whereas the Jags are 0-3 outright as underdogs this year. I don't think the Jags have faced a defense this season, much like the Bears have currently, and I just don't see how the Bears don't cover this 1.5 at home in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this weekend.
Yeah, I'm riding with you on the Chicago train here. Again, that defense is just awesome. Like as I said it would be before the season when I picked them to win 10 games, I said I may not know what Caleb Williams is yet, but I know that Bears defense is going to be nasty, and they are. They are nasty. And yes, it was against Carolina. I don't care. They still just absolutely kicked the shit out of them. So good on Chicago. I'll take the Bears minus 1.5 here. Bear down.
Are we going to clean sweep the Bears 2 weeks in a row?
We might.
Oh, it's a new era in Chicago because I'm going to go with Chicago as well, -1.5.
Yes.
I mean, how else do you get Caleb Williams on track? How do you get a rookie quarterback on track? Let him play the Panthers. Let him play the Panthers and let's beat them down. Get that draft position even better for that second-round pick. Let DJ Moore have a revenge game. Say, you never should have traded me because he's the new favorite target for Caleb Williams, and he's going to go off yet again. All right? I really don't think Jacksonville has anything on defense except for Drayvon Walker having 3 sacks last week. He's only done that one time in his career. Only before that, only one time with 2 sacks. So he's on the right track. That doesn't look like too bad of a number 1 pick anymore. Could have had Aiden Hutchinson. Could have had Aiden Hutchinson. Trevor Lawrence finally looks capable, but it was against a sad Colts defense. Sorry, Bobby. Give me Chicago Bears. That defense travels to London and takes care of business.
Yeah, defense travels.
I'll just say.
Be the 3rd week we're clean sweeping the Bears.
Yeah, I was saying because we've.
2 weeks ago, I portaled the Bears with the clean sweep.
Who did they play 3 weeks ago?
Yeah,
It was against the Rams. Yeah, we clean sweep against the Rams.
They beat the Rams covered.
3 straight clean sweeps.
Yeah, Bears have won 8 straight games in Soldier Field. Pretty impressive. We said it. Defense travels. One thing that also travels, though, is the run game. And Jacksonville has that, especially with Tank Bigsby. He should be getting more carries than ETN if he's not already. I mean, it really should be. ETN's been ran into the dirt first 2 years. Bigsby looks good with the ball in his hand. But, man, Caleb Williams is just progressing each week. That second touchdown to DJ Moore, manipulation of the eyes with his eyes of the safety, throwing a dot off of a quick read head snap, and then the ball is gone in half a second. You do not know how bricked I was watching that because that just does not happen. I understand that's basic play, quarterback manipulating a safety, but it does not happen. The Bears have a quarterback that does it now, and we also have a defense which we brought up as to why we think the Bears are going to cover because I'm taking the Bears here -1.5. I said it last week. It was a disrespectful spread against the Bears against that Panthers team. I think this is disrespectful again. The Jags, though, have kept it close in most of their games. And they're a frisky team. But this Bears defense, watch out. 2 turnovers in this game, man. They get a turnover every game so far this season. Multiple games. Watch out, man. This defense is the real deal. And if Caleb Williams and the offense continues to look better each week, man, this could be a 10-win team.
Yeah.
So give me the Bears -1.5.
Someone might have called that. We'll see what happens. Well, all right, moving on. Arizona at Green Bay. The line in this one is Green Bay -5.5. And yes, America, I am still letting the coin pick, but I'm also in my head like keeping track what I would pick here, right? So let's see. Coin takes Green Bay. I'd have probably taken Arizona. I'll just be blunt. I'd have probably taken Arizona, but I'm going to take Green Bay -5.5. I know. I'm taking Green Bay, and I can justify that. Give me both of them. Just in case I'm wrong, I'm still right. Gotcha. Green Bay's offense started to look a little better against the Rams, and then it kind of faltered again. Now, how long is Christian Watson going to be out for? He looked like he was in a bit of pain. Tucker Kraft, though, loved how he looked. Arizona coming off of a big win. I'm going with Green Bay. Again, that's what the coin says. Colin.
Oh, up and down with Green Bay. I'm just still up and down with Jordan Love in general as well. But I do like Green Bay here in this spot. Arizona, really frisky team. I just think in this matchup, coaching, I should say, is what's going to be the big separator here. This season, I'm just realizing how much I love Matt LaFleur, and I don't know what it is. I always hate the Packers just because they own Dallas at all aspects of everything. But give me the Packers at home here. I think Arizona is going to be riding high after that huge win on the road last week against one of their division opponents. Going to Lambeau this week, I think Green Bay is probably just going to kind of run rampant this weekend.
I like it.
5.5 is an interesting number, though.
It is.
I like that.
It is.
Yeah, very interesting number. And, of course, Green Bay might not have a Hall of Famer in Love. Who knows? But if they don't, they went Hall of Fame quarterback, top 3 coach in fucking football because LaFleur is great. Yeah, with a very good quarterback who has a potential chance to be Hall of Famer because, of course. But, man, let me down last week. Rams defense is piss. It's bad. And the Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love almost had a Dan Orlovsky. One of the worst plays, quarterback situational awareness, throwaway, pick sixes I've ever seen. Thank God it happened to him. End of the day, though, they did cover, but it was a really bad Rams team. Sure, they're frisky, and McVay's going to have them in games, but with the I understand some weapons were out, but still, Green Bay should have taken advantage of LA's defense. This is a tough one. This is a really hard game for me to pick.
It is. Yeah, I'm still thinking about it.
I'm going to go, man. I'm going to go Green Bay here and agree with you, Colin, that I think Arizona also has a bad defense. Does Green Bay get things rolling a little bit? And they are extremely high. You know what? Fuck it. Give me Arizona. Give me Arizona.
Respect.
I'll take them plus the points. 5.5. It was a lot last week against a better team, and I'm taking them again this week. Kyler Murray is one of my favorite quarterbacks in football.
We know.
I'll say
We all
Alex whenever he threw up the hand at like the 43.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gone.
Yeah,
That was awesome. No, I'm actually rolling with you, Addison. Give me Arizona right here. Yeah,
Do not like the
we're the hot table over
Yeah,
here.
we are. Yeah, we are.
And
Hey,
hey, Green Bay's defense has shown a lot this year. I mean, Xavier McKinney, he does have 5 straight games with a pick, which is unreal, you know? But Arizona, they are known this year for playing the underdog role and being close with it, you know?
They are.
I absolutely love what they're doing. I mean, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison is making plays with Kyler Murray. Michael Wilson is a solid number 2. Trey McBride's out there. I mean, I like it. I like it, and it's a little scary because this spread doesn't look great. If it was like 7.5, I'd feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Comfortable with Arizona, but it is about 50-50 right now. They could still lose this game, but it's going to be closer than you think. I mean, last week they were 7.5 point underdogs.
Yeah.
So, give me the Cardinals. I believe in Kyler Murray. You're on my fantasy team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Addison, you hang on to that mic. You lead us off here. We've got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Line currently is Indy -1.5 as the road team. We've got a home division dog here. What are your thoughts?
Home division dog.
It will depend, in my opinion, if Flacco plays.
Yeah, these two teams did just play recently, right? And Tennessee got the victory over Indy?
No, Tennessee only has one win. It was over us.
I'm so sorry. My apologies,
Such a
Nate.
dick.
I wrote by myself.
No, I'm just being a dick.
Unbelievable.
I can't lie. And Steichen came out and said it after the game. Flacco is the backup quarterback. When Anthony Richardson is healthy, it's going to be him taking the snaps. Man, Colts defense is bad. Ooh, I'm taking the Colts here -1.5. Anthony Richardson, in his short amount of time played in his last game, he did look good. He had like 40 yards rushing. He was 3 or 4 for like 70 yards. And his one miss was a terrible miss that he has to complete. And that's what everyone's complaining about. But he still did look good. I still believe in the traits. And on the other side is the Tennessee Titans and Will Levis. And I was going to say, is it Levis? I guess I haven't seen that announced either.
I don't know. I would assume.
I thought he got benched because he was hurt.
As the Titans vow to stick with Will Levis.
I thought he got benched because he was hurt.
Yep.
And then they didn't let him come back
He
in.
was hurt. There's a great picture of him.
Yeah, he's like
actually
crying.
in tears.
Yeah, he's like
So that's
crying
fine.
on it.
He has the funniest.
I know.
Bro, he's a meme every week.
He's got to be clipped.
It was
for
nice of a Colts player this week to take that from the
Yeah.
dive to try to fully horizontal.
I love
That's
that.
just hilarious.
I love that. But I am on Colts here.
I respect that.
Hey, same great effort. Great
Yeah.
effort.
Oh, yeah. You got to give the effort like
Great
that. And hey, we love a meme forever.
Yes, bingo.
But yeah, Colts -1.5. Tennessee's really bad, and Richardson can at least have some explosive offense. Alec Pierce, deep threat McGee.
Yeah, he is. Man.
Watch out.
Good ball. Sage.
I mean, if it is Flacco, I'm easily picking Indianapolis. But since I think it's going to be Anthony Richardson this week, coming off of a hip injury, I am going to go with Tennessee Titans +1.5 right here as the home division dog. I never take them. I'm usually against them. But, gosh, Tennessee, at least there's a little more consistency with that team right there, especially with that running game. Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears are absolutely the one bright spot on this team, if there is one, you know, and they still have a defense that can compete with Indianapolis. If Anthony Richardson's in there, I mean, it's a little scary because, the post-game interview showed, Joe Flacco and Anthony Richardson both had the same injury, and that's what got them benched, you know? Joe Flacco got benched for Lamar Jackson because of this same hip injury, and all of a sudden Anthony Richardson has it, and Joe Flacco, he wants to get out there and compete and play, but, it is hard because Anthony Richardson wants control of this team. I think he's going to push to play. We know how tough of a guy he is, but he's got to play these things a lot smarter, and who knows if he's in there, how much longer he's in there for. How long is it going to take before it's the second drive and he thinks he can barrel over Harold Landry, and he can't.
No, you're wrong.
You know? Give me Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you on that home division dog. Take the Titans with you here. I guess it really does depend. I think Richardson is probably going, and I hate to, knock the kid, right? I think Richardson has all of the physical tools in the entire world, and they have named him the starter, so that debate's done. Should you start Flacco? Should you start Richardson? That's over. He's the starter. It's Richardson if he's healthy. I know. I didn't believe him until now. Now I believe you. You said it enough times. Now I believe you. So I think if Richardson's good to go, they're going to go with him. And can he do the easy things against Tennessee? That's your question, is can he hit the simple throws that he needs to hit in the Steichen offense? I mean, they put in Flacco and they hang 34 points. Flacco has a great day against the Jags. 360 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's an insane football game from him. That's
Flacco be a starter?
awesome. He should be a starter somewhere. Cleveland would be a great place for him.
Can you imagine?
The Jets.
The Jets would be a great place for him again. He's been there.
Been on both
Both those teams recently. Won with both of those teams. Pittsburgh could use him for sure. I'm just going to take the home division dog here. Colts have played close games. I mean, they've lost by 2, they've lost by 6, they've won by 5, won by 3, lost by 3. They're close every single game, so this spread makes a ton of sense. So it's essentially a pick 'em. I'll take the home team here and probably get burned. I will say, Tony Pollard, they've run the ball well. If the Titans have one claim to fame this year, is they can run the ball pretty well, and the Colts cannot stop the run. They just can't do it. So give me the Titans. Colin.
Do we know if JT's gonna be back this week, or is he missing a second straight week? What's the?
Honestly, I'm assuming he is back. He was potentially going to go this last week. This
past week.
Got pretty late, but.
I was saying, picked up Trey Sermon in 2 leagues. Only played him in 1. Got a little gun shy. Late touchdown kind of saved his. Late touchdown saved his week. If Taylor is playing, I like the Colts a lot more in this one. Looking at the Titans, they lead the NFL in turnovers offensively, so they like to give it up. Maybe the Colts can snag 1 or 2 of those in some prime field position and capitalize. So give me the Colts on the road, minus the 1.5.
All right, very good. We'll move in to Houston Texans going to New England to take on the Patriots, who are just going to keep trotting Jacoby Brissett out there to get killed. I mean, the poor guy just takes shots after shots after shots. He is just in there fighting for his life and for the team, and you got to respect that. However, it is Houston, the line's -7. And I know that's a big spread, especially against with 2 kind of defensive teams. And Nico Collins is week to week, they're saying, which makes me think he's going to be out this game. Yeah. I am going to roll with Houston minus the 7 points here. They're just an overall better team. Huh? That's what the coin said. I'm taking all the coins. I promise. I'm taking all the coins.
Like a few seconds in the video, we're not going to see you flip a coin and hang your head in shame.
So that's for another one later. We'll get to that one. I'll tell you when it's. You'll know it when I make that pick that was not me. But I'm going to go with Houston -7 here. Colin.
Looking at the board this week, there was 2 games that really screamed at me. Last week, dumbass pick of the week with Cleveland Browns. You blew up in our face. Deshaun Watson is absolute piss, and so is this is the first time I think in the history of recording for this podcast that I'm going to say I do not love that Cleveland roster.
No,
it's bad.
as well.
I think this is the first time I will admit I do not love that Cleveland roster. But moving on to this week's SeatGeek. Moving on to this week's dumbass pick of the week presented by SeatGeek. We are going to take those New England Patriots at home plus the 7. Talked about it earlier during the power rankings. Houston's only 1-4 against the spread this year. 0-2 on the road. Houston games in general, 4 straight unders this year. Here comes New England with no offense and an okay defense. Yeah, so with the 7 points, I think they can muck it up, keep it under, and then stay within that 7. So give me New England.
Okay. Addison, swinging it to you.
Colin, I'm also on the New England Patriots at +7, and it's actually because C.J. Stroud has looked average.
Yeah, he has.
And he is 2 in the Colts game, first game of the season. He is a toenail away or a back heel away, falling backwards instead of stepping forward away from having an interception. And in the Bears game, it was a fingertip for Kyler Gordon. If he has picks in both those games, he's thrown a pick in every game except 1. And I understand what ifs could have been, but still, he still has 3 interceptions already this year. He's turning the ball over more than he did last year at this rate already. And their offense, man, it's lackluster. Where's it at? They have the weapons, but the points just do not come. And Joe Mixon, how important was Joe Mixon? He was huge. I asked the question when he first went out, and they looked bad. And since then, it's a question mark. In New England, they're going to keep things ugly and keep things close, and 7 points is a lot at home. Let's get a turnover for C.J. Stroud, an interception, and an early lead for New England, and Houston has to crawl out of it. But New England covers +7.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I don't think they cover +7 right here. Sorry, but they played Miami last week, who's probably one of the worst teams without Tua in the entire league. And they scored 10 points. And I think Houston is at least scoring 20 here, and I think they have a better defense than Miami. I don't see a way where Houston doesn't win this by 10, at least. Mm-hmm. So give me Houston. I mean, Nico Collins is out, but they, unfortunately for New England, still have Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell I mean, they're not.
Maybe Mixon will be back.
I think Mixon is going to be back, so they're not lacking on weapons right here. They still have just enough. And Daria Ngumbawale, love that name, goated name.
Great name.
Emergency kicker, love it.
You can do it all, man.
You can do it all. Swiss Army knife of a guy. No, they have just enough to beat this team down. I mean, Jacoby Brissett is getting absolutely demolished every single play. And who do they have on the other side? Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. I mean, it's not looking great for New England for this entire season. I completely respect why they're not playing Drake May. I think they should continue not to play Drake May, and it's only a matter of time before they get forced into it by management, ownership, whatever. But
they had to have signed off on him not playing at this point.
yeah.
Right? They had, like, management and even ownership had to have been like, yeah, don't put him out there.
Gerard Mayo's literally not worried about it. Like, there were so many, like, we were worried about, like, Indianapolis. They were like, oh, do they make a change right here and all this stuff? Gerard Mayo has been adamant, like, Jacoby's our guy. Jacoby's our guy.
Yes.
Jacoby's our guy.
Like,
Jacoby's our guy.
I am not playing Drake May.
And he's like, because there's so many things. If he goes out there and behind a terrible offensive line with no weapons, all of a sudden he's going to be gaining all these terrible habits that could actually screw him up.
Yeah, this is
and
for the future.
as much as it sucks, like they are playing for the future, which sucks for us because we've been dealing with fucking the Patriots for how many fucking years.
Yeah, no, I hope they screw up Drake May.
Right, it'd be great if they screwed up Drake May. Sorry, Drake May.
Sorry
like,
about it, buddy.
you're just caught in the crossfire right here. Sorry, but like, we'd love to have like another, just like absolutely like a Mac Jones type thing. We'd love to have an EJ Manuel. We'd love to have, like those moments where players are okay, but you just screw them up. Give me Houston.
Houston, all right.
A stat I didn't say that kind of goes against my pick, but maybe makes it more of a dumbass. Houston, 4th fewest yards given up defensively. New England, 31st yards gained offensively. So New England's offense can't move the ball. Houston's defense doesn't give it up. So
Okay. Like that. We keep you talking here.
98 yards of offense.
Yeah, yikes. Next up, we've got an NFC South matchup. Tampa Bay -2.5 on the road at New Orleans. Saints coming off of a tough loss to the Chiefs. What did Tampa Bay? Did they have a bye this past week?
they lost on Thursday.
They lost on Thursday. That's it. They
Overtime.
lost to the Falcons. Great game. Colin, coming to you first. Who you got in this one?
Tampa Bay playing Thursday night. So the better team, better coach, better quarterback, playing Thursday night against a team that played Monday night. That's a huge advantage as far as rest was.
Huge advantage.
And you're going to give me the 2.5 hook as well in the game for a team that has won 3 of their last 4 in the Superdome in New Orleans and those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In these matchups, I gave it out in the last game. 7 of the last 8 times these teams have played has gone under. So maybe a sloppy game, but give me those Buccaneers minus the 2.5.
Like a 20-17 type of game.
I'll take it.
Yeah. I get that. Tampa Bay just kind of goes against everything you have been saying this year, though. When you've got the hotter team, Tampa Bay.
Well, they're coming
off a loss. You're right. They're coming off of a hot loss, but it was a loss nonetheless.
Like the rest from a
Yeah,
Thursday night
it's a
game
huge
from
difference to a Monday night game.
And I think they're just naturally the better team.
They are,
With
100%.
the better coach and the better quarterback.
Yep. I am going to take the home division dog here in spite of literally everything you just said. I'm going to take New Orleans plus the 2.5 here and hope they get the win. It's just a weird season, man. Like, Tampa Bay's the better team. They have the better roster. They have way more rest. They should win this game handily. They're only 2.5-point favorites. It's kind of weird to me. Go ahead and give me the Saints. I do see the Saints as one of the preferred targets for Devontae Adams. Maybe that's factoring into it. Who knows? But give me the Saints here at home.
Yeah, he does want to go there because of Derek Carr, but he would hate it just as much. They run the football more than anybody else in the league, so you want to go there and not catch passes because they just don't target Olave. Anyway, New Orleans sucks, and their offense is terrible. If you can shut down the run, they literally can do nothing. Kansas City Chiefs showed that on Monday night. Derek Carr, terrible. I mean, that pick he threw early in the game, his decision-making was horrendous on that play. Tampa Bay, they win the coin toss in overtime, in my opinion. Go down, score a touchdown, win the game. Whoever won that coin toss is winning the football game. Tampa Bay's offense can put up points. Baker Mayfield's got weapons, and he's not afraid to throw balls in tight coverage, tight windows. Give me Tampa Bay minus 2.5 here. Offense is just too much. And this might be a reaction in New Orleans, but it's 3 straight weeks now where they've sucked. So give me Tampa Bay minus 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, is Taysom Hill really that valuable to this team?
Seriously.
I mean, I didn't realize that he literally was the heart and soul of this offense. But he has bruised ribs and broken ribs, a bruised lung. Is he gonna play? Probably not. I mean, I think he's week to week right now.
He plays there, wouldn't he?
If he plays, they're winning. Can I put a little caveat on that? If Taysom Hill plays, I'm taking New Orleans. But no, I'll be real, and I think Tampa Bay just has the better overall team right here. I'm going to go -2.5 Tampa Bay. I do love that hook, Colin. That 2.5. I mean, ooh, yeah. I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. They don't lose 2 divisional games in a row, I don't think. Yeah.
That would be detrimental to their season.
It's going to be them in Atlanta.
And then Atlanta at the end. Yeah, probably will be. Next up, we've got the Cleveland Browns traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Colin, I'm going to swing to you. Actually, I'm going to start with Addison here. Addison, who you got in this one?
Well, I don't even know the spread, and I would say I don't care. I don't care. I've already checked off Philadelphia on my box, and I don't care that it's 8.5. It can be the biggest spread this week. Cleveland is in disarray, and it's all because of that number 4 quarterback. We can all talk about it, but holy crap. The timeout 4th down situation is just the epitome of everything blowing up, walking off to the sideline with like 13 seconds left on the play clock to your coach pissed off because that's not what is supposed to happen. That's not a good sign. None of the players respect Watson there. He hates it there. If it is his burner on Twitter, he's going crazy out there.
Crazy in that burner.
And Philadelphia getting some people back. A.J. Brown expected to be back. Devonta Smith getting fully healthy. And they still got Saquon and Jalen Hurts. I don't care if their defense is bad. Yeah. Give me Philly -8.5. Big-time cover. Cleveland, I did love your roster for years. It's literally on the back of my shirt. You guys suck.
Yikes. The one thing I've been saying for years are the Browns until they prove they are not the Browns. The last time they did that, they turned into the Ravens, started winning Super Bowls. So,
True.
You're still the Browns. Deal with it. That's why I'm going to go with Philadelphia right here. You said it. I mean, they're getting A.J. Brown back. They're getting Devonta Smith back. They coming off a bye week. And Cleveland, I mean, Deshaun Watson has played so bad. In fact, his quarterback rating over the last 5 games is worse. The last time they had a quarterback this bad, can you guess who the last quarterback was that played this bad?
Manziel.
Tim Crouch. I mean,
Deshaun Watson last year.
Nice.
I thought he was out of the run.
You would think it would be Manziel. You would think it would be Brandon Whedon. You would guess these terrible quarterbacks.
Deshaun Kaiser.
Deshaun Kaiser.
He never won a game.
Guess what? They would love to have those guys over Deshaun Watson right now. Their contract would definitely be cheaper, and they'd probably have a better roster.
Yeah.
But alas, here they are. Cleveland Browns are still the Cleveland Browns until further notice.
Colin, I'm swinging it over to you here. A couple of things battling, and I can feel it. I can feel your turmoil here.
A lot of turmoil here.
can
What
feel
I've
it.
been doing up to this point in the year is not overreacting week to week. However, that 6-8 had me rattled last week, so I'm kind of jumping ship, kind of looking at kind of some betting trends coming into the week. How are teams doing in general? How are they doing against certain opponents, and how are they doing against spreads? However, in this game, I did not write down any facts or figures.
Threw it all
Nate,
out.
I just want you to say
Let
the
me
2
just go ahead and
lines
read
at
it
the
where we
bottom.
got it here. There you go. No stats needed. Browns blow.
Browns blow.
Browns
They
blow.
suck. I don't care if this was a 14 spread. I was taking
Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah.
So give me Philly -8.5. Sage, you mentioned it, coming off the bye is huge as well. Let them get healthy. Let them strategically get some stuff figured out that they haven't gotten figured out yet. I think they're going to come out and just blow the doors off.
I mean, Kevin Stefanski, he's 2-time Coach of the Year. None of those times has he won with Watson.
No.
I mean, he won it with technically Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
And Baker.
Who's their backup?
Back up to you.
DTR.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, it's not
I know
good.
it's the front office GM and owner saying you cannot not play the guy that I'm paying
Yeah.
$220 million guaranteed.
Yep.
But eventually Stefanski's going to put his nuts on the table and say, "Don't care, get on the bench."
Yeah, you're done. You suck.
I'll deal with you. I'll get yelled at after
I think
this
this
game.
is a way better punishment for Deshaun Watson.
This
I think
is
there's
great.
just- You're getting paid. You're gonna take the sacks.
Yeah, no,
all
seriously.
right? You're gonna
and
take
play in
them.
Cleveland.
Yeah, and have to play in Cleveland.
That's your punishment, man.
I love the angry Cleveland fans calling into their radio stations, like being like,
they're
"Oh,
so
here's the
pissed.
stats for what Baker's doing this
Uh-huh.
year. Here's the stats for Watson." It's like, man, you got rid of Baker because he played hurt,
Right.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
will never get that.
and then if he didn't play, you would have like
Exactly.
said you weren't signing because he didn't
Yeah.
have heart.
Exactly.
He didn't want to.
Exactly.
Where would
Brandon
Baker be
Madison.
without that drive with the Rams?
Facts.
You know,
Well,
Back
say
up somewhere maybe.
Well, where would Baker be if the Browns were not dog shit and kept him? Would he be what he is now?
Right,
I don't
would he
know.
be
Him
very
having
good?
to go through some of this.
It might just be
bullshit of the
Cleveland,
league.
man. It might just be Cleveland. It could just be Cleveland.
It could very
Which
well
is
be
crazy
Cleveland.
because Stefanski's offense looks so good with a competent quarterback. Like last year with Flacco, it looked very good. 4-1 down the stretch with Joe Flacco. And then you put Watson back in there, this guy you're paying all this money to. In the last 17, he started 17 games with the Browns. He's 9-8 with a QBR.
future Hall of Fame quarterback to
True. His QBR is 33.4 in those 17 games, which is good for 32nd in the NFL in 17 games. That's unacceptable. It's just unacceptable.
Yet they've won 9 games, and that's because
They've won 9 games because that roster carried them.
To continue to deplete, man, and it's like, well, good luck winning games
I'm
at
not
all.
going to change it.
About time that they're gonna have to blow everything.
Oh, yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That's the
No,
most
exactly.
expensive roster in the league.
And it's
Everybody's
bottom
older and
level.
older and older, and Nick Chubb's not going to be the same.
It's just gonna be Myles Garrett and company.
If they want to trade him to Miami, I would take Myles Garrett. Thank you very much.
The Bears, please.
That'd be a big pickup. Oh,
You
man.
guys need him.
Need a pass rusher.
rusher.
My God, no.
Yeah, you can go back to Texas if you want.
Yeah, hey. Give me Cleveland. Give me Cleveland plus 8.5 in this game. Huge spread. I'm going to take.
Coin or you?
It's a coin. That was the one I made the face at. I was like, it's like, God dang it. I'm not. I scratched it.
Coin or you?
I scratched it out, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm taking Philly. And then I was like, no, bad Nate. Stay with
Yeah, I would
Cleveland.
respect that.
Hey,
I would
everything
respect
screams Philadelphia, and I want to. I'm not going to. I'm taking Cleveland. I'm going to stay with the points. Big spreads haven't been cashing out recently. I mean, San Francisco minus 7.5 lost outright. I don't think Cleveland wins this game, man. But give me Cleveland plus 8.5 points. A ton of points. Next up, we've got fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a game that should be electric, which means it's going to end up 20-17. It should be an awesome, awesome football game here. You want to what?
I want to start.
You want to start?
I just want to.
All right, it's Baltimore minus 6.5.
Okay. They are my darlings, and Lamar Jackson owns the NFC, though. So something's going to give here, and I do think it's probably Washington and their dominant performances on offense. Colin, you brought it up, or maybe it was you, Nate, but the opponents of the Commanders. Bucks lost. G-Men, what are they? Bengals 1-4.
Yeah.
Cards, okay, I mean, it's still 2-3.
Yeah.
Browns.
Browns back.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And Daniels has looked good, and I think he's playing great. Rookie RG3, like explosiveness. I mean, their offense is scoring points. Is it going to continue against this elite Baltimore team? I don't know. Their defense is pissed, though. So give me Washington to cover. Big spread.
Big spread. A lot of points.
Ravens win.
What's the spread?
6.5.
For Baltimore.
Ravens
Minus
win
6.5.
because they own the NFC. It's Lamar. They're in Baltimore, first off. It's going to be weather's going to be a little foggy out there, let me bet. And Daniels is going to have to run. We're going to see 2 running quarterbacks, but give me the team that's scoring a lot of points against a bad defense to cover a big spread.
Yeah. I guess a bad defense, a downright bad. Like Mike McDonald leaving obviously has played a huge role in that defense kind of taking a step back. I am going to take Baltimore minus the 6.5 as the home team here to win by a touchdown. Washington has been red hot, but again, they haven't played anybody, and Baltimore is so battle-tested. This Baltimore roster is so tested, and they just keep getting it done. Like last week, if you had told me before the Ravens-Bengals game, the Bengals were going to score 38 points, I'm like, oh, it's a blowout. They got their ass kicked then. There's no way they're going to keep up with 38 points. They can't. And they did. They put up 41 points and got the win. I need to see the Ravens defense figure it out, but they're at home against a rookie quarterback. I like John Harbaugh to get things right this week, and Baltimore puts up points. In Washington's defense, they haven't played anybody great this year, but even so, their defense has a bunch of no-name guys that Dan Quinn's got going. To be fair, I mean, just pulling up their stuff really fast. I mean, they held Cardinals to 14, very impressive, gave up 33 to the Bengals, and gave up 37 to the Bucs. So they can get got. And I like Lamar Jackson. The way he's playing right now, this is one of those moments, and he's on one of those rolls where you cannot stop him. Yeah. Like, he's just in the zone. Him and that offense are just absolutely in the zone. And Washington's going to have to try and keep up with them, whereas they've been blowing teams out. They're going to have to try and keep up with them. I like Baltimore as the home team here, minus 6.5. Colin.
Yeah, I've been very critical on Washington's strength of opponent. You know, you see the sweatshirt here, so obviously got to be a little bit of a hater. Talking about it, 6-14 combined record in their wins, and that's with the Giants getting that Seattle stinker, and then Arizona getting a 14-0 second half against the Niners to get to 2 wins. Otherwise, they have 4 wins against 4 1-4 teams. Yikes. You got to beat who's in front of you. talking about Lamar gets the NFC 21-1 as a
I
starter.
didn't say that. That's crazy.
That's an absolute joke. The one was Danny Dimes a few years ago. But this is setting up.
Yeah, game shouldn't have lost.
This is setting up for fireworks here because the top 2 scoring offenses in the NFL this year are the Commanders with 31 and the Ravens with 29.4. So both teams that love to fill up the scoring. And so hopefully we get a good one. But I'm going to take Baltimore at home against that NFC opponent. Their one home game this year. Never mind. They've played 2 home games this year. Never mind. I will not say anything else. But give me Baltimore -6.5 at home.
Baltimore,
So
okay.
their one home game,
Everything
they
you
destroyed
guys
the Bills. And I'm like, oh, wait, they played the Raiders.
Everything you guys are saying is a lot of points. That's a cover.
A lot of points. Yeah, cover could be. Or it'd be 35.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I'm shocked that it's -6.5.
Big spread.
Like, that's a big spread going against a 4-1 team who, right now, I mean, I would consider both these quarterbacks top 3 to 5 in MVP rankings.
Lamar's stats below Daniel. To be fair to Lamar,
Yeah,
below
Daniels
Daniel's stats.
Daniels
has been
played
very
like
good.
Yeah.
Statistically pissed last week. It was like
Yeah.
170 and a pick.
Oh,
pick.
Lamar went
And
wild.
They threw a
but-
pass on the one and then they didn't score.
Yeah, that's bad.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, Lamar's going absolutely crazy right now. I mean, threw for 350, 4 touchdowns, no picks, 50 extra rushing yards. But the thing that you notice about all these, like the 21-1 record, it's that because these teams don't see a player like Lamar Jackson in practice ever. Washington does.
Yeah, that's true.
They see Jaden Daniels every day, you know? And Jaden Daniels probably is the closest thing to Lamar Jackson in the league right now. Sure, it's his 6th game in the league, you know? I mean, he's got to fall off at some point, and he hasn't played great teams yet, but he has taken care of business when he's had to, you know? So that's scary. That's really scary. I mean, Washington doesn't have that good of a defense, but they can run the ball. Baltimore stops the ball rushing-wise. It's just our pass defense that's a little suspect right now. You keep pointing up that our defense is letting up a lot of yards. So was Mike McDaniel when he first started. Mike McDonald. Excuse me.
That's hard.
There's too many. There's too many mix. There's too many. But you'll notice that, what was it, week 3, like 2-3 years ago when we played the Dolphins and you guys came back, that was Mike McDonald's first year. You know? Yeah, thanks. That was his Super Bowl, guys.
That's
My
all I have to hold on to.
my Super Bowl is the Super Bowl, but
Oh, from when you were 10.
I was 13. It's the best time for them to win. Anyways, I'm going to go with Washington right here. I think Baltimore wins, but I think Washington covers right here. Give them a good game, a good battle-tested game. I want to see both quarterbacks do well, honestly.
Yeah.
I just want to see Jaden Daniels do less well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The way Lamar's playing, man.
Lamar's stats are crazy
He's
right
like
now.
MV3.
Yeah, he absolutely has to be front running for MVP. Has to be.
Somehow Patrick Mahomes is still the betting favorite.
That's I think it's projection.
That's probably because so many mugs just keep betting on Mahomes.
But
too.
I mean, Lamar so far
No,
through
he's
5
gonna get
games,
that on Mahomes.
he's got 1,200 passing yards, 9 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, to go along with 370 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
He's
man.
on pace for like 40 or over 4,000 yards. How many touchdowns and then 3 picks?
Yeah.
I think.
Crazy statistics so far. He's been awesome.
You know who Washington reminds me of this year? Last year's Cowboys team. They're going to beat the piss out of those
Bad
bad
teams
teams
and
and
get
they play the good
beat
teams.
by
Let's
good
see what
teams.
happens. They
I
only
will
played
say
one.
Washington last year was not winning those games though. You know,
No,
so
that's
they're a step in
They've
the right
growth,
direction.
growth, for sure growth.
Yeah,
For
they
sure.
were one of the teams that were getting their ass beat.
Better coaching each side of the ball and then definitely better quarterbacks
Yeah.
situation.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that helps.
Alrighty, let's
One
move
of these
in.
teams are going to get Devontae. Whoever wins gets Devontae.
Gets Devontae Adams.
That
That's the
would be
matchup.
great.
That'd be great.
That'd be
Hey.
wild if Devontae came out and said that. Also,
Yeah.
Devontae,
Go Ravens.
you're an op for life.
Go Ravens.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't go to
up for the
Baltimore.
life. You guys got to
Facts.
get him. Go get him. Next up, we've got an AFC West matchup. Chargers going to Denver to take on the surprisingly good Broncos. All of a sudden, that defense looks kind of nasty. Bo Nix and going back for Sean Payton. I kind of like that a little
3
bit.
touchdowns last week for Bo Nix, 200+ yards.
Was
pretty
against
good
the
completion.
against the Raiders.
So what?
Raiders were
Short
so
Raiders
bad.
beat the Ravens.
That's true. They did.
Hey.
That's true. And you cannot lose to the Raiders and be considered a good football team. You just can't.
That's true.
They did. They did bench.
They're just not good.
I feel like Colin, what was it, last year, 2 years ago? It's like absolute wagon.
But they stink.
But they stink.
They're an absolute, that's on the back of his shirt. They're absolute wagon, except they stink. And this one, I'm going to take the Chargers here on the road, -3 points, just because I'm surprised they're -3, right? Why are they -3 points on the road at Denver?
There's a lot of home division dogs.
A lot of home division dogs this week. I like the Chargers offense. I like how it operates. I like the running game. Denver's they're a D&3 team. They're play good defense, run the ball. Play good defense, run the ball. Don't ask too much of Bo Nix. Chargers can compete against that. The Chargers have a solid rush defense this year, in spite of all of their massive injuries. They need Herbert to play, but if they can just slow down the Broncos, it's Harbaugh versus Peyton. Give me Harbaugh as the road team, Addison.
Well, these Chargers coming off a loss before their bye week, but guess what? They just had their bye week. And what was the major concern for me from the Chargers? It was injuries and health. The Chargers had looked good. The running game was there. They were controlling the clock. Defense had played all right. Denver, man, their defense is balling, though. Absolutely balling. I'm taking the Chargers -3 with you, Nate, and that sickens me because I'm picking the same as you. But I think people are going to look at this and go, Denver +3. They're the hot, fun, sexy team right now that's won 3 straight. Bo Nix looks better. Their defense looks great. Well, it won't matter because it's Harbaugh, baby. He's just a great coach. He might be a better coach than Sean Payton. Yeah, I said it. And give me the Chargers -3 in a brawl game. They have time of possession by 15 more minutes, and they win by 10. Chargers
Had 2 weeks
cover.
to get ready for this game. 2 weeks to get ready for this game.
And it's a divisional opponent.
Yep.
Harbaugh wants to make his name, playing his flag in that division, and he's trying his best.
Sage.
This is a harder game than I expected.
It is, though.
You know, I mean, I really didn't think that Bo Nix would have been progressing as well as he has been. That first week, I really wrote him off, and he's done nothing but, I mean, granted, last week was a shit game, shit weather. Yeah. But he bounced back, and they have I would argue, a very balanced, complete team. It's not a good complete team, but they're very balanced. You know?
agree with that.
Vance Joseph has a solid defense.
Yeah.
Pat Surtain and company are absolutely demolishing teams.
CB1.
Yeah, he is CB.
CB1, agreed.
CB1.
Absolutely agreed till Nate Wiggins gets it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, let Jamar Chase tear up 200 yards. I'm salty.
He's a rook.
He's a rook. Pat Surtain was a rook one time too, and he was almost all pro.
I know.
But anyways, no, I think that it's going to come down to quarterback play because both these teams are very much the same team. And I'm going to roll with the quarterback I trust more, I guess, and that's still going to be Justin Herbert. Bo Nix, I just need to see a little more. I mean, there's any time I think that any throw he makes could be a pick.
Yeah,
and that's not how I feel about Justin Herbert, and it's going to come down to turnovers, in my opinion. And yeah, Lad McConkey is going to be covered up by Pat Surtain.
Yeah.
But guess what? He can throw to Josh Palmer.
Yeah, or Quinn Johnson.
Yeah, or Quinn
The first
Johnson.
white guy Pat Surtain's ever guarded.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
First time it's ever
Probably.
won.
Unless he had to cover Cooper Cup or something. When he was
Yeah.
Baby.
He's gonna be like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah. No,
This
seriously.
guy. Slam him.
Larry Bird in the '80s when he was like, "You got a white guy on me."
Literally, though.
Yeah, give me the Chargers right here. What's the spread? -3.
-3 as the road team.
Who's got the better kicker?
That's a great question.
Dicker the kicker,
He got signed.
or Will Lutz?
I don't know.
Will Lutz.
Yeah, Will Lutz.
No, he missed the field goal. And
Yeah, give me
He really
Dicker.
cost him the game against the
Give me
Jets.
Dicker the kicker.
Yeah, that's a game where you take the better kicker. I agree with that. Everything else pretty even. Man, I've got to say, I wish I would have hammered my bet at the beginning of the year on Justin Herbert under passing yards. It was 3,600 for the season. Through 4 games, he has 500. That's it. Through 4 games, through a quarter of the season, he has 500 yards.
had 500 last week.
He has, in 1 game. Yeah. No passing at all. Colin, what are your thoughts on this game?
ruined it.
Yeah, he did. Of course he did. Yeah.
Brutal. You guys talked about it. Chargers coming off a bye. It helps them get more healthy and get prepared have 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Denver on the season is 4-1 against the spread, shockingly.
Impressive, yeah.
Their one loss against the spread was when I mortal locked them against the Steelers, so screw you guys. You guys are dicks.
Dicks.
All 4 Charger games this year have gone under the number, and this week it's 35.5. That's
Going under
so
the number,
low.
under the
Chargers
number.
defense has been sneaky good. First in points allowed, giving up only 280 yards per game. That's kind of wild. So give me those Harbaughs on the road -3.
Los Angeles Harbaughs, baby.
Los Angeles Harbaughs. Woo!
Everybody wearing khakis.
Everybody wearing khakis. Next up, we've got Pittsburgh at Vegas. The line is Pittsburgh -3. Another road dog. A lot of road dogs here. Oh, and Vegas stinks. Addison, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, because I want to fucking, excuse my language, flame most of the national media and every Pittsburgh fan and half the Bears fans that were hating on Williams about Fields. Fields blows. He's the same quarterback he was in Chicago, maybe a little bit better. You lose a football game with a 3-0 turnover battle and a missed/blocked field goal from the Cowboys. Sure, blame your defense all you want. We got you the lead late. For 3.5 quarters, your defense played stellar. Yeah. They held the Cowboys to 13 points. I'm sorry, 20 points is too much. If you allow 20, it's the defense's fault. You're kidding yourself. I love Fields as the guy. I want to see him succeed. But if you think he's a franchise guy off of what he's showed so far this year, you're joking to yourself because he's the same guy in Chicago, maybe a little better at throwing anticipation balls.
I think they should pay him $45 to $50 million.
No, please do. Please do. And that's also
break the record. Yeah, go for gold.
And that's also the thing with the Bears. It's like, so if they kept him, we would have to potentially pay him. No chance. You think Pittsburgh's going to pay him? No. And I'm sorry, but it's just goodness gracious. After 2 weeks, Fields is great. He sucks. He's not a starting quarterback. He's an athlete that has a deep bomb arm, but he sucks at middle of the field reads. With all that said, I'm still taking Pittsburgh -3 because the Raiders blow, and this might be Russ. I'm not even kidding. It's not confirmed that it's not.
It might be Russ.
It's not confirmed that it's not yet. It's early in the week. It's Tuesday. I'm assuming it's going to be Fields. If it's Russ, I like this even more. Can't lie. George Pickens, though, is also a bitch. He quits on his routes. He doesn't run routes hard, and he's also a sore loser. That makes me happy. But Pittsburgh figures it out because it's Tomlin. He's not going under 8-8. Or 8-9.
No,
he's not.
Yeah. No, I've been hating on Justin Fields, George Pickens, and the Steelers for my whole life. Yeah. But Justin Fields this entire year and George Pickens for about 3 years now. Yeah. I hate you. I think you're terrible. I think you're trash. He wore a little guard over his nose. Always fucking open. Dude, you were not.
Yeah, well, you run a 20% route, so I guess you could think you're open because no one's close because you're running at a snail's pace. Yeah, I don't know.
No, he looks absolutely terrible. Pittsburgh, I agree with you. Justin Fields, I believe he's 2-28 when the opposing team scores 20 or more points.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So you're telling me if your team cannot hold them under 20 points, you can't win?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
No, seriously.
It sounds like all those blowouts that he had. I remember one time he had a huge game against the Lions that he probably lost or something. Anytime he has a blow up game, it's either in a loss or the defense has probably scored some or something like that.
His best game as a Bear, 330 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. We lost. The choke game to the Broncos last year.
Yeah.
His best game ever as a Bear, we lost.
It was a loss.
Yeah. He can't sustain it. Yep. He can't sustain it. And I've been saying that about Fields. I like him as a person. Don't get me wrong. You try hard.
Yeah, and he does try hard.
Your hardest try is not good.
That's literally what it boils down to.
Sorry.
He's not a bad backup either, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're a fine backup.
He's the future.
Luckily for you, you're playing Las Vegas, who right now is in a quarterback controversy. I don't think Antonio Pierce likes Gardner Minshew, and I'm not talking about play style. I think they're the same quarterback, AOC and Gardner Minshew. I just don't think he likes him. I think he's a very serious guy, and Gardner Minshew is this goof, and he's just I don't want you here. So I think AOC is probably going to be starting this game. Devontae Adams, I don't think will be on the team at this point. And all of a sudden you're throwing to Jacoby Myers, who I think is solid, but he's not a number 1. Trey Tucker, who's solid, but he's not a number 2. Yeah. And Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer, who I think could be, with a competent quarterback and OC, a top tight end tandem. But they don't have any surrounding cast around them, and you can't surround your entire offense around a tight end unless you're Kansas City. So give me Pittsburgh, I guess, but this is going to be a shit game.
Man, I'm picking against Miami Milkers and AOC.
That's
damn.
tough, man.
That's tough. I'm still riding with Pittsburgh, though.
Respect. I'm riding with AOC and the Miami Milkers because you look back at this Vegas game against Denver this past weekend. 34-18 looks ugly on the score sheet. They were winning 10-0 after the first quarter. Raiders were. And then Will Lutz hit a bomb field goal, and then PS2, a 100-yard pick six to break their backs, and they couldn't recover. They were right in this game, and we always talk the Raiders' rush offense is piss. It is absolutely terrible. They actually ran pretty well against Denver's very solid defense, 25 for 115 and a touchdown. Held the Broncos to less than 4 yards a carry. Very solid. Bo Nix played a clean game of football with 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, a QBR of 26, by the way. Somehow. I don't totally understand that. But I think if you just try and play a clean game in this game, Vegas, Fields, just make Fields beat you, because whenever Fields has to beat you, he doesn't. Whenever Fields has to be the guy to go win the football game, if he can't just sit back and manage a ball game, they're going to lose.
One of the first drives of the game, 3rd and 8, they run the football and then kick a long field goal.
Long field goal.
Sorry,
take the ball out of his hands.
we
No
don't
confidence.
believe in
No
this guy.
confidence
I don't
at
know
all.
what does.
Yes. Even if it is Russ is cooked. Russ is bad anyways.
Russ is bad.
Go ahead and put him out there. He's less of an athlete.
He's going to be dominant.
He's less of an athlete.
I'm so excited.
All they have to hang their hats on is their defense. I'm going to ride with the Raiders as the home dog here, plus the 3 points. Feel gross about it, but the Raiders they beat the Ravens, okay? Right? Let's not forget that, Sage. Let's not forget they beat the Ravens. Minshew beat them. That's true.
Devontae Adams beat him. He's not there.
That's true. He is not playing. Brock Bowers has been really solid.
90 yards in the second half, which is when that happened. He's not there.
This is an unders bowl. This is the unders bowl. Bowers
is
has been
real.
solid. He has been
He's
solid.
10-1.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not to jump
He's awesome.
overseas, but we gotta give Max Crosby some credit.
5
The way he answered
sacks.
that locker room interview where he was like, "I'm not fucking quitting on these
Yeah.
guys. People are talking for me on the Pat McAfee show."
Yeah, he
It was
did
cool
shit
to
on
see,
him.
though, because it's like, Vince Lombardi or whatever, trash ass. It's not.
Former
Vince.
GM.
It's not.
It's
Vince.
a different Lombardi.
Favorite person to ever have mic'd up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love that he called out that play. Yeah. They can't hear you. They can't hear you.
But it's good to see though, because he's a guy that could quit.
He could.
He's the best. He's an All-Pro.
Yeah.
Top 3, top 4 at the end in the league.
Yep.
And he's fighting on a dog shit team.
Oh, terrible team. But that terrible team's going to cover the 3 this week. Colin. Terrible Raiders.
Coming into making my selection, driving here, I'm like, I'm going Denver, I'm going Denver, I'm going Denver.
They're not playing this week, Bucko.
But then
Pittsburgh, Vegas. You can't take Denver.
I can't take Denver this week, and I didn't even take him in the last one.
I can't take them.
Driving in today, I'm thinking I'm taking Pittsburgh. I'm taking Pittsburgh. But it's an even week. It's an even week. The Raiders are an every other week kind of team.
True, they are.
Week 1 they suck. Week 2 they beat the Ravens. Week 3 they suck. Week 4 they
beat the
How
Browns.
many times are you
They beat
going
the
to
Browns.
bring up beating the Ravens?
Also 2-0 against the AFC North. Against the Browns and Ravens. Now
Well-
they're playing the Steelers. Do they just own the AFC North?
I was going Pittsburgh because I don't know how the
I will
Vegas
say,
Raiders score.
historically, Pittsburgh always loses to Las Vegas.
Wow.
Or to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Well,
Screaming
Historically,
Raiders.
that's like your Achilles heel. But also,
It's the Raiders.
it's the Raiders.
so I was all over Pittsburgh, but thinking about it, it's an even week. Don't know how the Raiders score points in this game, but give me AOC. Nate, you talked me into
Yeah,
it. Give me the
yes.
Raiders at home because why not trail the 6-8? Was 6-8 last
That's
week.
right. Come on, baby. The 6-8 table's coming back this week.
Something's got to
Coming back with
I might
vengeance.
change.
I might change.
Actually, I'm going to change.
You want to switch? You want to join us?
Come on, baby. Leave
I'm
me
going
there.
Raiders.
I hate that.
Come on, Fields. I believe in you. You're a 2-read QB.
2-read QB. Yeah, right. He hasn't been a 2-read QB since high
I said it
school.
on draft night. And then
You did
obviously
1-read
blinded
QB.
myself for
It did. You
years.
totally did.
And then- well, you have to believe in your guy.
You have to. You have
But
to.
the writing's on the wall. The kid does suck at throwing over the middle of it.
And he's a 1-read guy. If it's not there, he runs. He takes off.
And he's also blind and
Trade
gets
Tucker
crushed
getting a long teddy this week.
by defensive tackles.
True. All right. Next up, big game. Detroit at Dallas. Dallas is home dog here. Detroit -3 on the road. Dallas at home, not been as special this year as they have been in the past. I'm riding with Dallas plus the 3 here because I said it. I'm taking your guys' teams every single week because why not? To be spiteful as much as I can. I even mortal locked the Ravens last week, and you're welcome
I mean,
because they
we're
won.
part of your.
Thanks. That's probably why we
We're
almost
3
won.
of your only 6 wins.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So give me Dallas, baby. If I'm just gonna keep picking you guys, man, you guys are gonna keep getting it done for me.
What's the spread here?
It is Detroit -3 on the road. So Dallas +3 at home. A little disrespectful, man. Give me those boys who went into Pittsburgh and got it done.
I was say, can you look last week real quick at who else was on Dallas with me on the picks?
I do have it. Dallas last week. It was you. It was you two
And Bobby.
Bobby.
Okay.
Had a good week.
And I took Pittsburgh, but even though I went against everything I said, I took Pittsburgh.
No, I was just wondering. Man, the spread. Does this tell? Is Parsons or Lawrence back? If not both.
Lawrence is definitely not back.
Okay.
He's on IR.
Okay.
Probably could be back unless they like, hey, let's give him another week just for the hell of it. Although it's the game you really want him back.
You need him against that
Also,
line.
Nealon went out against the Steelers.
Yeah, I know, and they're hoping it's not as
So,
serious.
yeah.
He looked good, too.
Yeah.
Torn meniscus. He's done for a while.
Yeah. DED.
Give me Detroit here, -3. I will say this is going to be the popular pick of the casual fan, but Dallas, I think, used a lot of what was in the energy or gas tank to get that W against Pittsburgh. Backs up against the wall. Shit was sideways, and they still scrape one out. It's a long week recovery from that. Detroit's been on bye. They have the running game. They had Goff go perfect last time he played. Their defense is firing on all cylinders. Dallas is banged up on the offensive line, defensive line. It all points Detroit.
It does.
That's why it will be Dallas, but give me the Lions -3.
Okay, Dave.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the casual pick as well. I'm gonna go with Detroit here. I mean, you guys.
Is Detroit on a bye and Dallas winning on a prime time? It's like, I don't know. Is it the casual? Because straight up, I know it's dumb, but being on a bye wipes you from casual bettors' brains
People forget about you.
for the week.
They do. And I feel like it wasn't taken into that much consideration in the picks either, because I feel like Detroit probably should be favored by more with them being able with injuries, but also like they're a running football team, and what Dallas can't do. What Dallas can't do. What Dallas can't do. They can't stop no run. They can't stop no run.
They stop no run.
Last 2 weeks.
They did last 2 weeks.
Oh, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs coming to town.
Yeah, that's true.
It depends how it's tonight. Football days, you come to town.
Yeah, that's all I'm happy.
Yeah, that O-line, and possibly without like 3 of their best players on defense, that scares me for their running defense especially. Yeah, give me Detroit right here. I'm not going to over-talk about it. Just Detroit, -3.
Love that.
Colin, tell us about why it's Detroit here.
I'll say you're still on Detroit. They're not acting hate.
Oh, I'm fully on Detroit.
Hey!
This game should be -7 with both teams completely healthy. Detroit. I think Detroit puts a belt to ass this week, and they beat the shit out of my Cowboys. They can't stop the run against a dynamic team. Hopefully Skipper, actually reports eligible this week.
Yeah,
But Detroit -3, and that could be foreshadowing a later segment that we went 5-0 in last week. But give me Detroit -3, better team, better coach, better roster. Papa John's.
Detroit
What is the commercial, isn't it? Better pizza, better ingredients, Papa John's. Better roster, better team, Papa John's.
Better ingredients. No, it is only 2.
It's better pizza, better ingredients, Papa John's. All right, let's get into an NFC South matchup. Atlanta taking on Carolina. The line is Atlanta -6.5 on the road here. And we're going to take Carolina plus the 6.5 points here. I think I'm going to retire the coin after this week. Home division dog, I'm a fan. I'm a fan regardless. Carolina's absolutely ass.
I know.
There are so many road dogs this week. Crazy amount. Carolina is the worst team in football. It was kind of nice to see Bryce Young make a play on the run last week. Out of script a little bit. Hey, maybe there's something there. Several times. Yeah, oh yeah, he still is lost. I mean, I said at the beginning of the year, sweeping declaration, he's a bust. I said it. 6.5 points. I hate that. But it is not prime time. Or, no, it is, it's not noon for Kirk. It isn't. It's not he's not his element. Fuck it. I'm taking Carolina. I have nothing else to say. I don't have anything to back this. Give me Carolina. I have nothing to back this.
I'm on the exact opposite of you, and thank you to the coin for that pick, because Atlanta -6.5 is free.
It's so free.
Carolina's defense is horrendous. There's misassignments, miscommunications between players. They struggle tackling. They do have a good run game. Carolina has a good run game, but can Andy Dalton get the ball going to the lackluster receivers? I don't know. The Bears showed if you can create pressure and stop the run to somewhat of a degree, Carolina can't do shit. And at the end of the day, Bears offense questions about it, score 36. Atlanta's offense looks like they're figuring it out. This could be 50 Burger Town. And Colin, I'm in complete agreement with you. Bryce Young will be starting before Week 12. It might. When Carolina doesn't score, doesn't win, what's the point? Bryce Young will be back, and this is one of the games that makes that happen quicker. Give me Atlanta -6.5. This is a 14-point victory. Kirk Cousins doesn't play the fourth quarter. Who's the backup? Who's the backup in Atlanta? He's getting snaps.
Back up in Atlanta.
Desmond Ritter, he's gone.
Oh, it's probably Penix.
Oh, it is Penix. Penix should just start this game.
He could.
That's
Same. I probably would.
-6.5.
Just be like, all right, go for it. I don't know.
Kid.
Probably second half. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna roll with Atlanta here too. I mean, it looks like they got it fucking figured out, and it took them 5 weeks, sure. But Kirko Chains is back in town. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because Carolina is dog water. That was wild. That was wild. I love watching him.
He is so white.
He's
He
so
is.
white.
Aggressive.
He makes
So
mayo
white.
sandwiches,
Shockingly
man.
Caucasian.
Just mayonnaise.
Shockingly Caucasian.
Chuba Hubbard did kind of
Yeah.
lay wood on me last week in fantasy.
Hey, yo! Lock me up.
In fantasy, yeah.
In fantasy, I
Yeah,
did.
just in fantasy.
And not.
Sage's fantasy.
Oh, hey, yo! That was between us. Anyways, here you go, Nate.
That was between us.
Sorry, I should have told anybody. Colin, you're up. What you got in this game?
Last week, gave you one more chance, Kyle Pitts, and you gave me some life.
Because I bet on his under. Of course
I
you
did
did,
as
of
well. I
course.
had that loser parlay for me, 30
First
and a half.
drive, he goes over it. It's like, you gotta be shitting me.
Kyle Pitts recorded 30-yard reception.
Yeah, I think it was like 32
I got a
on his
problem.
first catch. I don't think it's over. Atlanta's going to put belt to ass in this game as well.
Belt to
It was CJ GJ that said it about, I think, the Bucks, and then he got demolished.
And he got
That's
ragged.
exactly right. Sage, you mentioned a couple weeks ago Darnell Mooney from one of your fantasy sleepers. I picked him up and played him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
he
you
did
did.
pretty good. I picked him up and kept him playing last week. Huge game last week.
Oh.
Atlanta's figuring it out. Give me that
Fantasy
6.5.
sleeper after the week I said.
Yeah, the week
Get ready
after
for
is
next
elite.
week for these guys.
Yeah.
Dontavion Wicks gonna go crazy.
He will. He actually will.
All right, let's get into Sunday Night Football here.
I also picked up and played Wandale in our
He's
sleeper
been
league.
awesome.
Hey, I'm putting some financial into Sage's stock.
Heck yeah, I love it. All right, Sunday Night Football. I'm surprised they haven't flexed this. I know they can't, but I wish they would.
They should have flexed Detroit Dallas.
Yes,
Sunday
they
night.
should have flexed Baltimore,
Baltimore,
Washington
Washington.
to Sunday
They
night.
tried and got in trouble.
Well, damn it.
I respect that.
Yeah. All right, Cincinnati at New York to take on the Giants. Line is Cincy minus 3.5. I will say it seems like Cincy's figuring it out a little bit.
Oh yeah.
They're starting to roll a little bit. Too late. Too little. Too late. They're 1-4. Addison, what are your thoughts on this game?
It's heartbreaking for Cincinnati, and I mean the fans definitely. If you're a Cincinnati fan, I know what you're doing right now. We just got to win this game, and they got to lose this game, and we're gonna win this, and we'll be 5-4, and we're in the wild card. You never know. You never know, but 1-4 is tough to come back from. Been there as a Bears fan, and it's rough life. And it sucks when you have a franchise quarterback and you got a franchise receiver, and what's going on? And you're losing games that you should have won. And no, what were you say?
I was going to say, does this mean T. Higgins does get traded?
Maybe. Honestly, though. Honestly, that's a really good question.
If you're 1-5.
Yeah, seriously, that's a
no
really
matter
good
how good
question.
He's playing, like, he just had a hell of a game against Baltimore. You might as well get high.
Yeah, because you can't afford him. You can't afford him after
Not
this.
most of them.
Yeah, exactly. And you're not picking
Devontae Adams is
Higgins.
not the only receiver getting on the trade block.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Sage. You know what? Because I want that to happen, I'm taking the G-Men plus 3.5. And also, because Danny Dimes is playing well this
He's
Saturday.
actually playing better.
I've said he's out of town multiple times, and if he plays like this, though, I don't know. Because at the end of the day, it's 40 mil cheap, sort of.
Sort of is.
Sort of is. Sort of is. Yeah, and if Dak, Dak, if he has this connection with neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson, legit guy, if they have a backfield figured out with Tracy and Singletary,
Even Slayton looked good.
Slayton did look good.
Damn. Back from 2020.
Yeah, they need a defense quick. Brian Burns, what's up, my boy? Where you at? And what's going on? We need some sacks. But give me the G-Men plus 3.5. This is a gross one, and this is just a Y pick. But guess what? That's going to be why I go 13-1.
Love it. Sage.
I think last week Cincinnati came into Baltimore and they absolutely demolished us through the air for so long. And you can only do that for so long without like losing hope, you know? There's been 2 times this year, Joe Burrow has had a perfect game. Aside from 1 pick last week, a perfect game when they've lost. And that was against us, and that was against Washington. And they can only do that so many times before how much of the team is just like, dude, it doesn't matter. We're going to fucking lose. You know? And I think they're finally going to be losing hope right here. I hope the New York Giants bury them. That's why I'm taking the Giants. Plus 3.5 right here. I mean, we were talking about Danny Dimes. We're like, is Malik Neighbors going to save his job? Malik Neighbors not there? No problem.
Yeah,
no Neighbors, no
seriously.
problem.
Yeah.
Dable looks fired up, too. First of all, he's lost
does.
some weight. Good
Good.
for him.
He has.
lost
Ozempic
weight.
Dable.
Oh, is he?
Right now.
Ozempic
I mean,
Dable.
everybody's
Ozempic
got-
Dable.
Ozempic
But he
Dable.
looked even at like the podium, he just looks like he's dialed in right
Good,
now.
though.
Yeah.
He's
Good.
absolutely in his bag.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. New York Giants, I mean, they are – I said it last week. I don't think I said it out loud. But I thought they were the second best 2-win team.
Yeah.
And right now they are the probably second best 3-win team. Like, they're
Well, they're 2-3, but yes.
Yeah,
If they
yeah,
win,
yeah.
they will be.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. And I was going to say it against Cincinnati, and right now I think these two teams are very, very similar. And that defensive line against Cincinnati's banged up offensive line now because last week a few of them got hurt.
Darius Mims had to leave the game for
Yes, sir. Against Dexter Lawrence, Thibodeau, and Brian Burns. Well, Joe Burrow's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Not hurt, but hit.
Yeah,
Unless he gets hurt. I mean,
Hey,
man gets hurt.
sorry about you.
I think you're trading T. Higgins.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, Bengals could be 1-5
Could be easily.
with Joe Burrow at quarterback.
Yeah, with Joe Burrow.
Playing every game. That is.
If you look at Burrow's stats right now, MVP numbers.
Yeah, you wouldn't say they're 1-5, but
MVP numbers.
Is
He's
it?
doing his job. It's the defense.
Yeah, Sage, you said it. Team's gonna give up. Isn't it normally the defense that we hear that from? You know, the defense is gonna give up because the offense is shit.
Yep.
How offense is gonna quit? But I agree with it though because we're gonna score 35 and lose.
Yeah.
What?
38.
Yeah,
lose
no,
to
it's-
the Ravens at home.
You're not wrong, man.
No.
Something's gotta give, but it's not this week. Give me the G-Man again.
G-Man.
Come on.
So, yes. Sage, who did you take? Did you
You
pick?
said G-Man.
G-Man. Okay. Good.
You're not on G-Man.
I am on G-Man.
No.
I am on G-Man. Spoiler, this one was spoiled
I'm changing.
in my Bengals season preview video when I said this is a game that Bengals absolutely need to win. And I picked the Giants in that video. You can go back, check the tape. I picked the Giants to win this one because of Dexter Lawrence. The interior offensive line of the Cincinnati Bengals is garbage. Dexter Lawrence has 6 sacks on the season from the defensive tackle position. You have a backup right tackle in Amarius Mims. He's going up against Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau. Good luck, man. The Giants have played some inspired football these last couple of weeks. They are still not a great team, but they fought well against the Cowboys. They beat the Browns, and then they just beat the Seahawks. And nobody had them beating the Seahawks. Nobody. Had them covering, but nobody had them beating them. I did not. I had the Seahawks. Of course I did. But the Giants were just flat out better than them last week, and the Seahawks were once upon a time a 3-0 football team.
Yeah, for real.
I like the Giants at home here, getting 3.5 points as well. Love that hook for the plus 3.5. All on the Giants this week. I think they're figuring. I'm not gonna call them a playoff team. They're figuring it out, and it's good to see. They're figuring it
At
out.
the end of the day, they were a playoff team 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
So with,
Yes.
with the same quarterback.
And they won a playoff
They
game.
had Saquon.
They won a
They've
playoff
gotten
game.
better since 2 years ago.
Imagine if they had Saquon.
Yeah, I agree. So give me Giants.
They got
Colin.
That's true.
They got better.
They got the better 2-6.
Yeah.
Devin Singletary.
That paycheck for Jamar Chase's extension is just skyrocketing.
Oh, yeah, he's been
Cincinnati,
crazy.
good job not signing him before
Yeah,
the year
smart.
because you're going to be hating it after the year.
They might
Can't afford him.
They might
I'd be
lose
able to afford him.
Trade
Yeah.
both of them, actually.
He's gonna go for close to 40 a year, and that's justified.
Yeah.
He said I don't want to just barely beat Justin Jefferson's. I want to crush it, and he's putting up the numbers to do it. He's already got close to 500 yards and 5 touchdowns through 5 games. That's crazy. He's going
Also, I know Burrow's playing well, but those frosted tips, we got to get those
crazy.
out.
That's a problem. I think that's why
We got to get those out of here. Just because like he looks
He
ridiculous.
keeps dressing and looking like Ellen DeGeneres, and eventually it's gonna come back
What
and bite him
cracks
in
me
the ass.
up is he's gone full platinum, and then it's become higher and higher, and it's like less and less, and eventually it's just gonna all be gone. But he's like, I don't want to get rid of it.
I wanna
Dad.
cut it. I like it. I
don't
like
wanna- I
it.
don't want to cut my hair, Dad.
I'm
And it's like,
edgy.
Yeah.
But their defense can't stop a nosebleed.
No,
we said it last
it's awful.
week.
Horrendous.
Are we sweeping the Giants?
God, that's gross.
Oh, I really didn't think that was going to happen.
If that happens, the Bengals are gonna win by 28.
And
For-
we will look bad.
for the
Although
sake-
our clean sweeps have been fire.
Clean sweeps have been fired.
Do we want
No,
to
take the G-Man. Fuck it.
I'm doing it.
Yeah!
Give me the G-Man with the
G-Man
3.
sweep.
You were on him before it was hot to be on the G-Man.
You were?
I jumped on the train right when you jumped on.
I was
Get
on
back
G-Man
on.
from week 1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get back on the
Give me
G-Man.
G-Man week 2. Give me G-Man week 2.
Give me the G-Man.
Like, I'm taking them every week. And I didn't take them last week, and it bit me in the ass. So give me the G-Man.
Okay, I will say their offensive line looks better too. Like they're playing good football in the trenches, and that's winning football.
Yeah.
Maybe the offense is better when you don't have to give Saquon 50% of the
Yeah,
carries.
maybe
I
you
don't know.
can open the playbook a little bit. All right, let's motor through this one. We're gonna get into.
The cancer to locker rooms.
Wow, okay, maybe.
No.
Let's get into Monday Night Football AFC East matchup. This game is for first place in the division technically as of today,
Oh.
which is gross. But it's Buffalo going to the Jets, and it is Buffalo minus 2.5. I'm not letting the coin speak for me on this one, and I'm not going first. I'm going last. Suck it. Addison, you want to lead us off here?
Sure. What's the spread? Sorry.
Minus 2.5 for Buffalo.
Man, both these teams looked like hot dog shit the last game they played. One of them's coming back from London, though, and they're not taking their bye, and that's the Jets, Jets, and I love the Jets. I love Aaron Rodgers. I'm taking the Jets, man. Salah's gone. It's new coach push. Yeah, the new coach boost. And then Buffalo's going to get that new coach boost maybe after this game. Maybe after this game. Give me the G-Men plus points at home.
Jets. Not
Oh,
Jets.
yeah, not the G-Men. Give me the G-Men and the Jets. I'm on both New York teams. Shout out New York.
What's the spread?
2.5.
Minus 2.5.
Give me the Jets plus 2.5. Buffalo's offense was exposed for 3 quarters last week, maybe 2.5 quarters, whatever.
The only touchdown was kind of lucky, too, to Keon.
Yeah, it was some BS. Keon Coleman, broken play thing. But the Jets at least have a good defense. They're going to show up. The Jets have to figure something out on offense. Aaron Rodgers is not a 3-interception quarterback. At least I do not think that. Sure, it was a bad game against a really hot defense in Minnesota. Weird London game. Give me the Jets. Give me Aaron Rodgers to figure it out. Let the shit start falling in Buffalo because it's going to happen very quickly.
Yeah, like you said, Aaron Rodgers is not a 3-interception quarterback. He has only done it 6 times in his entire career, and he's played for a million years. Which is why I'm going to go with Buffalo, because he's played for a million years. He's frail. He has an ankle sprain. He can't move that much.
That is true. This is all true.
Also, Breece Hall has they couldn't run it when
They can't run it.
they can't run the ball. I mean, I saw a stat of his that showed like all of his rushes for the past 2 games, and it was like -7 yards, -5 yards, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 3, 3. And he just can't break one out. You know who the more explosive running back is? Braylon Allen. Shocker. He's Derrick Henry 2.0. He looks like, honestly, he's fucking insane. So I am going to go with Buffalo here. Minus 2.5 going into the New York Jets Stadium.
Meadowlands, MetLife Stadium.
Jet Life, like Trevor Bank.
Uh-huh.
That's why they're moving to London.
With Rodgers and the team he tore his
Yes,
ACL
it is.
again, or Achilles against.
He's playing with already a bummed ankle.
Whoa.
Already with a bad ankle. Although would the fall off from Rodgers to Tyrod Taylor be that big? I don't know.
No, I think
I don't know this-
might be upgrade.
Improved.
Might be
Might even
upgrade.
be a step up.
No, Rodgers
Running
is winning
quarterback.
MVP. They're winning 13 games. Right?
MVP with these numbers. Yeah, right.
exactly.
They're winning 13 games.
RELAX, they're winning 10
Interesting he
games.
hasn't come out and said that
They're
yet.
winning the division.
Because he's already gotten
They're going to win the
fired.
division.
You'll have a quotable here and there.
I mean, how many games in a row are we gonna have a bad Rodgers game and be like, oh, but he'll turn it
Yeah,
around?
I know,
Figure it out,
I
figure
know.
You know? I mean,
That's
Quarterback
true.
will win.
That's
That's it.
true. We're getting to the
I
point
was
where-
told he was gonna fix it.
That's true.
Yeah, he's been
I'll say this,
he's
though.
had one good
Yeah,
game.
coach
It was
fired.
against the Patriots. He scored 24 points in that game. It's not like he scored 30. You know,
Most points scored all year?
he had a solid game for Rodgers' standard. He had 250 for 2 touchdowns, yada yada yada. And then they were like, he's saving the season.
you're not
He's saving the season.
All of a sudden, they were talking to the media. We got to learn how to play with these expectations and all of it
Yeah.
being put on a pedestal and being those
They're going to
guys.
suck you off some weeks, and then they're going to tear you down next week.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have any faith in the Jets right now, especially even after firing their head coach, because Jeff Ulbrich, I mean, you're a
Seems
defensive
solid.
guy.
He's just
He's
solid.
not calling the offense. He's not going to change anything with the offense, and the offense is the problem right
That's the
now.
problem. Yes.
So here we go.
Yep.
Yeah, Jets are still better than not.
Well, we don't have our quarterback
It's not
fair.
hard.
And we don't have our quarterback.
Yes.
Neither do the Jets.
We're still 2-3. We have the same record as them without our quarterback.
That's also true, though. That's bad.
Without our quarterback.
That's bad.
Who are the Jets missing that's costing them? I don't know.
Hassan Reddick.
Hassan Reddick. That's who
When
it
is he gonna get
is.
traded?
I don't understand why the Jets fired Saleh and not Hackett today. Why do you not switch it up at offense? Because he's Rodgers' boy. Like, does Rodgers genuinely own you that bad that you can't fire the OC? Even though the offense is bad and he's constantly pissed and rolling his eyes and being an absolute diva on the field, that he's always been in his career, to be fair. He's always been that guy to roll his eyes and be like, oh, come on, do it. He made some uncharacteristic throws against the Vikings where it was back shoulder. That's his bread and butter. And he's throwing it 5 yards short and the DB's making a play on it. It's like, we can't have that, Rodgers. However, I am on the Jets plus 2.5 here. First of all, AFC East circle of life. Dolphins own the Bills, or own the Patriots. What did we do? We beat the Patriots last week in New England with Tyler Huntley playing football. The New York Jets own the Buffalo Bills. They have for several, even last year when Zach Wilson had to play 4 snaps into week 1, they still beat the Buffalo Bills. It's the Jets at home, plus 2.5 points. Getting that new coach boost, too. That is a thing. It is a thing. It's our first one. Woody Johnson's first time ever firing a head coach midseason in 25 years as an owner. First time he's ever done it. Fired the wrong one. Probably should have fired Hackett. That's coming when the offense pulls out a stinker. But give me the Jets, Jets, plus 2.5 at home against the Bills. Colin.
Since you brought up Woody for a second, I will say he had to come out today and say Aaron Rodgers did not have anything to do with this decision.
Yeah, which means Aaron Rodgers had everything to do
The
with the
fact
decision.
that you have to come
Say
out
that,
and say
right.
that says so much about
Right.
the organization
that's true.
being wrapped around Aaron Rodgers. finger.
It's like if you get pulled over by a cop and the cop walks up and you roll in the window and the first thing he goes, "I'm not drunk." It's like, why don't you go and step out of the car, sir? We're going to breathalyze you now because clearly you're thinking about it.
So,
why would Woody Johnson Brown say that?
If you're wondering, why isn't Nathaniel Hackett not gone? Because Aaron Rodgers had something to do with this decision.
Bingo.
That's why.
Bingo.
All I have to say is Robert Saleh escorted out by security. Was he throwing bows?
You might have fought, man.
Was he throwing
He's getting angry.
I don't know. Escorted out is what they said. Yeah,
That's-
he
I
escorted
saw
out
that.
by
I also
security.
saw some things that said that he didn't do that.
Okay,
So I don't know.
I wish he did like some beat down.
If anyone did,
He's
it would
nice.
be solid though.
Rodgers has got a black eye.
Rodgers beat up.
He still only finished the job on that ankle.
There's a video of him just punching him in the ankle. Shit.
Nate says, I'm going to go last on the picks, and then just
And then
mentions
jumps
every single thing I was going to say.
Yes.
I was going to mention the Disney banger from Lion King. It's a circle of life.
It's a circle.
And then mention the new coach boost always. I mean,
It's just
it's
a
got to
thing.
be the Jets here in this spot. So give me the Jets with the points.
Okay. I get Sage riding with those Bills alone, minus
Take that
2.5.
win alone.
Buffalo.
Nathaniel
Uh-oh.
Hackett's the problem.
He is the problem. Alrighty, let's get into Mortal Locks.
Watched Couples Retreat last night. It's on Netflix currently.
Great movie.
Great show. You're the problem.
You're a problem. You're a real problem. Speaking of Mortal Locks, and speaking of those Jets, Jets.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Mortal Lock this week is New York Jets plus 2.5 points.
Oh, that is a hater pick.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is because of all of those reasons, right? New coach boost, home division dog, and it's the AFC Circle of Life. Home division. Does this not scream me? Does this pick not scream Nate? Other people? Come on. It's the home division dog, AFC East Circle of Life, new coach boost, mega max, nuclear missile whale play. Jets plus 2.5. Addison.
Change one of the locks really.
Yeah, you should.
Oh,
You
don't
should.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't bet on Nate.
Bet on Nate, people. Bet on me, folks. Buy futures. Buy the futures.
That's a lot of points, but Atlanta minus 6.5 is looking me in the eyes. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ride with the Homer Bears. We're traveling to London together. Defense travels. 1.5 is a close spread. Sure, Jacksonville keeps games close. Not 1 point close. So give me the Bears to win by 2. Make it 3 straight. Bears 4-2 if they win this football game.
Oh,
You better watch out.
better watch
That'll
out.
be my power rankings at the part two. That's all I gotta say. My day will be stroked.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Another week, another sus thing out of this table over here, man. Did the Bears lick any asses this past weekend?
Jaguar Brisker did lick some ass, and he knocked the fight out cold on the field.
Is he a 5'10" defensive back?
He is about 5'11", 6 foot.
Licking ass.
It worked last week. It's gonna work this week again. I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears as well with this mortal.
Yep.
Double dip that. Chicago Bears gonna go into London. Bad down, isn't it, governor? There we go.
Let's go. Come on.
The English accent. Sick
Okay,
of it.
that's what they're gonna be sounding like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you guys will never guess.
You're not up
No.
there, man.
NFC North. Give me the Detroit Lions. Put it belt to ass on Dallas this week. It is going to be a brutal. And Stephen A., we're going to see that awful video we always see on Sunday.
Him smoking a cigar.
Just sliding into frame. Give me the Lions minus 3 in
yes,
Dallas.
You keep that mic, Bucko. We're getting into Colin's locks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting into Colin's locks. Last week, 1 and 2. I bet on one of them, so really 1 and 1. Colin, 10 and 5 on the season. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. 66% hit rate. I love to see that. What do you got for us this week?
They say 53% is profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 66,
60. Yeah.
we'll take it.
Thank you.
Uh,
Betting on all 3 of them this
Taking
week.
it to the bank. Nate, you scare me with your mortal because Jets plus 120 on the money line. I love the Jets this week at
Yes.
home. So give me the Jets to win at home against those
You don't even want
Buffalo
the 2.5.
Bills. I don't even want the
No,
2.5.
Jets
You can
money
keep those
line.
points and you can shove them.
You tease that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Plus 120. Thank you.
Plus 120. Next one up, give me Philly's team total at home against Cleveland, a team that's probably given up. Team coming off a bye, getting some pieces back. Over 26.5 points for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they show up, show out at home this week. To cap it off with the money parlay, makes me nervous adding my immortal lock into that. But give me Lions on the money line. Dallas just stinks. And then give me Ravens on the money line.
Baltimore.
Give me Sage's wet dream parlay of the
Detroit,
week.
Baltimore.
Detroit, Baltimore.
What are those odds on that money line today?
Plus-
got a 5-10 corner under.
Plus 113 on the money line parlay this
13.
week.
So that's great because you give the anti-Nate parlay, and now we get the pro-Sage parlay. I'm feeling disrespected. Addison, what kind of outrageous takes do we have this week?
Just what the slate's telling me.
Yeah, okay. What outrageous takes do we have this week?
Well, I think it's outrageous because it's an absurd number, but it's the two highest scoring offenses in Washington and Baltimore playing each other. Give me 100 points scored in this football game.
100 points.
You're going to be wanting to tune in.
And two of the worst defenses.
You're going to be wanting to tune in at noon Sunday if you're Central Time. Points. It's going to be a Rams-Chiefs 2.0, but it's not prime time. It's noon.
At noon.
They're going to wish it was prime
Come on, 100 points scored in this football
100
game.
points scored.
100 points scored.
Electric.
I'd cry.
Awesome.
And 70 of them are going to be for Baltimore.
70 from Baltimore. 70-30.
There we go.
All right, sleepers, what you got?
Sleepers right here. I got 5 of them for you, just like I did last week. I got 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a tight end yet again, because tight end went so well last week. This one's going to be a lot deeper, though. A lot deeper. So first, 4 running backs. We're going to start with Jeremy McNichols. He has scored a touchdown in two games straight, right? Austin Eckler, a little banged up, had a concussion, came back, yada, yada. We'll see what happens. They are an amazing running team. Unfortunately, they are playing Baltimore, who has amazing rushing defense. But Jeremy McNichols catches out of the backfield. I think he'll score again this week. Give me him. My other running back I have right here is New York Jets running back Braylon Allen, like I was just talking about. Breece Hall, he's absolutely dog water right now. He hasn't done jack shit. So we're going to see what the other guy can do, you know? New coach comes in. He's going to want to switch some things up. Breece Hall is going to be first on that list in my mind.
Okay, I like it.
Number 2, we got the wide receivers coming in. I got the first wide receiver right here, Jalen Tolbert, winning the game for Dallas Cowboys. Brandon Cook's still out with that knee infection. Got some messed up knee. Yeah, it was a knee infection. They got to clean it up, give him some antibiotics. Yeah, weird thing.
He was slurping dog on his knees. He got it. And he got it infected. Allegedly, sorry, Brandon Cooks.
That's just what the word on the street is.
That is straight.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Hearing from Dallas.
Allegedly.
Yeah, give me Jalen Tolbert right here. He absolutely tore it up in training camp the entire year. So now he caught a game winner against Pittsburgh. His confidence is going to be through the roof. I think Dak is going to target him often and plenty.
Speaking of which, did you see the snippet of Tyler Smith after the game? He's like doing out there with the sprayed nuts and made a fucking play.
Yeah, he got
the ball and then drilled him right in the nuts.
Yeah, his bits got messed up right there.
Brain nuts.
Went out there with fucking sprayed nuts.
That's awesome.
Won the game.
And here's a very deep sleeper. The number 2 wide receiver for those Las Vegas Raiders. Give me Trey Tucker right here.
Did he have a touchdown last week?
Maybe. I think he did.
Deep ball, maybe?
I think he did actually. All he does is catch deep balls. He's a very Rashid Shaheed type guy. Very Rashid Shaheed type guy. So the ball is dangerous when it's in his hands. If you can get him in open space, which Pittsburgh, I will say, tough defense. But I think they're going to need some points. They're going to be throwing often. Give me Trey Tucker right there. And then my tight end right here. They've been throwing at tight ends a little more than they have previously in years past. Give me rookie tight end Eric All Jr. for the Cincinnati Bengals right here. They are going to be playing the New York Giants. The Giants don't have many linebackers to cover these guys. It's been a mix between Mike Gesicki, Eric All. I think he's going to get the majority of the touches this week. I think he's going to absolutely crush what he's had. Give me 5 catches, give me 50 yards and a tutty right there, and that'll be enough to be tight end 1 for the week.
Yeah, no kidding. Tight ends stink.
I'm taking my notes for next week to who to play in fantasy and who to bet on.
Yeah, that's perfect. All of these guys are going to be on my starting lineup next week. That's all we've got for you guys for this week's episode of the Playbook Sports Podcast. Make sure if you're not already subscribed, you hit that red subscribe button. Comment down below. I would love it if you guys would roast us at points. Like, that's good fun for us. Let us hear it in the comments. Sound off down below.
We'll tell you why you're wrong.
Bingo. We'll come back at you. Don't worry. I won't leave those unread.
The games will tell you why you're wrong.
That's right. Absolutely. That's all we've got for you guys, and we will see you all next week.
Peace.